All right, so this, I believe pre-order started today and then it will be rolling out in the next week. The iPhone 17 is on the market. Obviously, Apple usually releases their phones around September this time of year, and 2025 is no exception. There's a new iPhone, so we're going to talk about some of the biggest positives and takeaways, and then we have something a little fun. We're going to try remembering all the phones we've ever had at the end. I've only ever had iPhones, so we'll go through each one I had, but just I don't know, the biggest positives, I guess I was looking on the Apple website. Just some information too. The phone is starting at $799. You can get it for $33.29 a month for 24 months if you want to do that. I would say don't do that. Just buy it straight up if you have the money, and if you don't put yourself in that situation. Um, you know, and also some more information. The iOS 26 is, I think, what's the first update on it. Um, it's sort of new look. Like I was looking on the website that like the time bubble's bigger. When you open up your phone and there's the clock. I guess the time bubble it looked like a sort of cool font. So maybe go check that out. Um, it's definitely the iPhone 17 is definitely going to be, I think, flooded with a lot of Apple intelligence. I think AI is going to be, whether we like it or not, AI is the big thing. And with technology, and that's what they're going full steam ahead with. So I've seen that they're going to include a lot of Apple intelligence. I don't know exactly how that's going to go. Is it going to be on Siri? I think I saw one where you could like literally make a call and it's just Apple intelligence. So that's the future. It's going to be interesting how that works. I think we've talked about Apple or just AI in general a lot in the past, but yeah, that's the future of technology. Here's an interesting plus I saw up to 50% charge in 20 minutes. So say your phone's at 20%, you got your kid's soccer game in 20 minutes, you can get that bad boy up to 70% pretty quick. So I would say that's a plus. I don't know how much I believe them on that one, but they're advertising it. Although I've noticed with my latest phone, and I have the iPhone 14 right now, if you're smart with your battery, because I've had this one since 2022, if you're smart with your battery, you can make it. Like mine's not like a brand new battery, but it lasts most of the day and it still doesn't die. So just don't let your phone die all the time or run right down to 5%. And what seems like with the newer phones, you should be good. And then the last thing before I let Jake give some thoughts, the colors I thought were pretty cool too. They have a lavender color, which is like a lighter purple one. They have a sage, which is like a lighter green one, which honestly I want. Although I don't know what the difference is if you just get a case, anyways, you can't really see the color. But the sage color looked really nice. They had a mist blue, a white, or a black. So overall, I think a pretty cool new product in the market. Jake, what are your thoughts on the iPhone 17 coming out?
Yeah, I mean it really doesn't matter what kind of phone you get. The charger that they give you at the Apple Store will still break after 2 months. So it doesn't really matter. But yeah, this phone is pretty cool. I was just looking at it too. It's only $34 a month. Cheaper than the phone I pay now. I pay for my iPhone 16 Pro Max. I pay $45 a month. So going down to $35 will be a nice move. But yeah, no, like you said, Evan, I mean the colors are just nice. Obviously iOS, I believe it's 17, 18, something like that. Um, iOS 17, I believe, because some of the apps that I have to update on my phone, say I require iOS 17 for it. Yeah, but no, the
Well, I was just gonna say I
definitely the
like I
chart.
like definitely on the most recent phones the automatic updates. Like I don't even remember any of my apps getting updated anymore. Like they just happen automatically. And I remember back in the day you had to always wait, and then if you were in a low Wi-Fi area, you'd be stuck. And it's like I'm trying to just use Instagram or I'm trying to I don't know just use whatever, right? But it's sort of nice now. You don't even know the apps are updating.
Yeah, no, I remember just as a kid, how excited I would get, when I got a new iPhone, I would go ahead and quickly download every app that I had on my old phone, if they're getting it transferred over. They only did that for me a couple times, but I just remember how excited I got when I got home. But
Oh yeah,
yeah, I mean,
the transfer thing's so nice. Like I just recently got an iPad and like literally all the apps transferred logged in. Like they're all logged in. I went on, I'm like, well, I assume I have to sign in on all they're all logged in. It's so nice. I mean, I did, with the Touch ID, we are giving ourselves the Bill Gates microchip. But that's the price we pay. This is some nice technology and I'm okay with that. I'm just messing around. But
yeah,
you
but
get the point.
now,
Yeah.
yeah, now we got the Face ID, but I think after it's all said and done, I think this phone is, it's not really giving me a lot of issues. I still really enjoy this phone, but might have to look at the iPhone 17.
Yeah, 16 to a 17 would that'd be an upgrade, I guess. All right, so let's talk
Love it.
about let's try to remember all of our phones. So I'll let Jake go first on this one. Jake, tell me about try to remember every single phone you've had up to this point.
Yeah, so the first phone I got was I remember it was back when I was 10 years old. My 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 dad and mom had just divorced and my dad had moved out. So my dad got me a new phone for my birthday um to communicate with him, and I believe that was an iPhone 4. And then after that, maybe after a couple of years, I think the iPhone 4 was outdated. I think the iPhone 8 or the iPhone 10 had come out by that point. But I think, I was content with going because I remember all the colors that I got. So I went to the iPhone 6 Pro Max, or the iPhone 6. I remember I got red on that. And then obviously you got the other colors there. And then I went to the iPhone 10 and then I went to the iPhone 14. Now I got my phone right here. It's the iPhone 16 Pro Max. It's a gray phone, so yeah. No, that's all the iPhones that I have, but definitely looking to add the iPhone 17 in my collection.
17, I think that's where I'm going in a couple months. So I think I've got mine pretty down pat, except for one. I don't know the exact name. But I think I started like right around when I was like 13. It might have been Christmas that year because my birthday's like right by Christmas. It's like 10 days apart. But like, so like right around my 13th birthday, I got my first phone. And it was an iPhone 5. I remember that one. And then 3 years later, I got an iPhone 8 for Christmas. That was like the big thing. Those were really nice. And then I believe like 2.5 years later, because I started dropping my phone so much and the camera was so crap, I'm like, all right, well, I need to buy a new phone. And I think my parents were like, well, we're not buying you one. You didn't treat that one well enough. I'm like, okay, well, I'll go out and buy one myself. So I believe, and this is the one I'm not sure on. It's like the equivalent of an iPhone 10. I believe it was called the iPhone SE, but I could be wrong on that one. So I got that one. That was my third ever one. And then my fourth ever one, which is the one I have currently, which I got like 2.5 years after that as a gift, was an iPhone 14, which I still have currently. So I've had this one since, like I said earlier, like December 2022. So I try to get them swapped every 3 years. I think I might be in the market for the iPhone 17 pretty soon.
Yeah, I feel like that was a lot of what people did, as a kid. They got excited, hands kind of slippery, they go ahead and drop their new iPhone. And that happened to me a couple times, definitely. Um, just glad I got the warranty on it.
Oh, that's true. That's nice. Yeah. And then always wear your screen protectors, always wear your because those things work pretty well if I'm being honest. Like the amount of times I've dropped my phone, like you'd think like and I used to have a buddy who would like test it out. Like he'd throw his phone on the ground on purpose. He's like, Evan, it's not gonna break. I promise you it's not gonna and it didn't break. So like they make some pretty good screen protectors, but because I'd probably drop mine enough to where it should have broke, but it did not.
Yeah, the screen protector breaks, but not the actual
Exactly,
screen.
exactly. It takes the force. Yeah.